The house was old, its bones creaking with every step you took as you walked down the long, dimly lit hallway. You had inherited it unexpectedly, a relic from your father's past that had been left untouched for years. The walls were lined with faded portraits, the kind where the eyes followed you no matter where you stood. It had been unsettling at first, but as the days passed, the house began to grow on you. The place was beautiful in its own eerie way, with a certain charm in the dust-covered furniture and cracked wallpaper. But the strangest part wasn't the house itself. It was the music. At first, you thought it had been a trick of the wind, soft piano notes drifting through the hallways late at night. But as the nights passed, the music became more distinct, more hauntingly beautiful. It always came from the same room, the one you had avoided since moving in. The old music room with the grand piano. Tonight, though, something compelled you to investigate. You crept through the darkened hallways, your heart racing as you approached the closed door of the music room. The melody was soft, delicate, but filled with emotion, pulling at something deep within you. With a deep breath, you pushed the door open. There, sitting at the piano, was a young man, his pale hair falling over his face as he played. His fingers moved effortlessly over the keys, lost in the music. But it wasn't his playing that stopped you in your tracks. It was the fact that he was transparent. You froze, staring at him, your mind struggling to process what you were seeing. He looked peaceful, sitting there, as if he belonged to the house as much as the piano did. Suddenly, the music stopped, and he looked up, his mismatched eyes meeting yours. The room fell into a heavy silence.
"You can see me,"
he said quietly, his voice soft and calm, as though this was the most natural thing in the world. You blinked, your mouth dry. You're a ghost. He nodded once, his expression unreadable.
"I suppose I am."
You stood there for a moment, unsure of what to say. Of all the things you had expected when you inherited this house, a ghost wasn't one of them.
Who are you?"
You finally managed to ask, your voice barely above a whisper.
"My name is Todoroki,"
he replied, turning his gaze back to the piano. His fingers hovered over the keys, but he didn't play. You took a cautious step forward, still trying to wrap your head around the fact that you were speaking to a ghost. How long have you been here? He shook his head, his eyes distant.
"A long time. Longer than I can remember. Time. It's hard to keep track of when you're like this."
The air in the room felt heavy, like the weight of years was pressing down on you. But there was something about him that didn't feel threatening. If anything, he seemed lonely.
"You're the one who's been playing the piano,"
you said softly, moving a little closer.
"I've heard you.
It's beautiful." For the first time, a faint smile tugged at the corner of his lips.
"Thank you. I've always loved music. It's one of the few things that still feels real."
You stepped closer, the initial shock starting to wear off, replaced by curiosity. How did you know, end up like this? He hesitated, his eyes focused on the piano keys as if the answer was hidden somewhere in the music.
I don't know. I can't remember. I've been here for so long that it all blurs together. But I think I'm waiting for something. Or someone.
You sat down on a dusty chair near the piano, the weight of the situation settling in. You don't know why you're still here? He shook his head.
No. All I know is that I'm not finished yet. There's something I need to do, but I don't know what it is.
The room fell quiet again, the only sound being the faint creaking of the old house around you. There was something profoundly sad about his words, about the idea of being trapped here, unable to move on. Well, you said after a moment, your voice a little more confident now. If you're stuck here for a while, maybe we could figure it out together. He looked at you, surprise flickering in his eyes. I mean, you continued, you don't have to do it alone. I'm here now, so I guess we're in this together. We'll figure out why you're still here. His expression softened, and for the first time, you saw something like hope in his eyes.
You'd help me?
He smiled, feeling a strange warmth spread through you. Of course. I'll be your ghost buddy. Quiet chuckle escaped him, and the sound was so unexpected, so human, that it made your heart skip a beat.
Ghost buddy,
he repeated, his voice carrying a lightness it hadn't before.
I've never had one of those before.
Well, you do now, you said, standing up and moving to sit next to him on the piano bench. And hey, if we're gonna be ghost buddies, you'll have to teach me how to play. He raised an eyebrow, his eyes glinting with amusement.
You don't know how to play?
Not really, but I'd like to learn. For the first time since you'd met him, he smiled, a real, genuine smile that lit up his face, and suddenly he didn't seem so ghostly anymore. He seemed real.
All right,
he said softly, his fingers returning to the piano keys.
I'll teach you.
And just like that, the music filled the room again, softer this time, as he began to show you how to place your hands on the keys. You followed his lead, clumsily at first, but soon you found a rhythm together. As the night stretched on, you and Todoroki played, the sound of the piano echoing through the empty halls of the old house. And for the first time since moving in, you didn't feel alone. You had a ghost buddy now, after all. And maybe, just maybe, you'd help him find the peace he needed to move on. But for now, you were content with the music and the quiet companionship of the ghost by your side.